Well, KPMG is very active here and working alongside Barclays, which this series on developing future leaders has been a joint Barclays-KPMG enterprise. It's the opportunity to bring young leaders together, young defined as essentially under 35, young leaders who are working within corporations within Gibraltar, and for those young men and women to get a sense of focus about what leadership really means, what are the skills necessary for the next generation, what are the activities necessary to define those skills, and what are the outcomes that they should expect, what's the nature of the character that they should have to develop. And so where does it go from here? It's the invitation to every one of them to become a social engineer, a social activist. It's a chance for them all to take on board a purpose that is bigger than themselves. We've defined our purpose in KPMG as inspiring confidence and empowering change, and that's everything from making sure that the markets have the confidence to do what they need in financial provision, but it's right the way through to changing the prospects of people who are in the poorest communities in the world, to give them the prosperity and dignity they need for secure jobs. And therefore every young person here in this Barclays KPMG program can take on board something of value and decide that they're going to be a hero for the future with a legacy, instead of just being a working plodder who doesn't know why they go to work.
Well, you speak all around the world, and this is your first time here in Gibraltar. What kind of impression has the Rock left, and will Gibraltarians do their part, do you think?
Well, the wonderful thing about this community is that it has fought for generations to protect its freedom and to protect its identity, and therefore it has had to become an open society in a closed environment. And that's quite an interesting thing to be, but it's also a resource-rich community, and it has access to people of great influence and great wealth. And that means that young Gibraltarians and Gibraltarians of every age group could actually influence global policy in a way that many in major nations may not be able to do. And I think the offshore communities from the Jerseys and the Guernseys and the Isle of Man into the Cayman Islands into the Gibraltars and to the multitude of others have an exponentially greater influence in markets than many do in established nations. And the reason for that is because of the income flows who go through the systems that are based in these countries. And therefore, if we have a momentum that says, let's bring justice to the poorest on the planet, it can start here. And if it doesn't start here, the poor will come and bang hard.